drummers out there, we're here today to talk about jazz coordination. As you know, the drum set musical environment was jazz. The drum set was developed by jazz musicians in New Orleans, and all earlier drum set masters were jazz drummers. So regardless of what you want to play, Brazilian music, Afro-Cuban, funk, country, rock, if you spend time studying the history of the instrument and jazz coordination, that will certainly make every other style a little easier for you to perform. So on my own path, I think the very first book that I worked on jazz coordination was the legendary Advanced Techniques for the Modern Drummer by Jim Shaping. And I teach from this book, I study this book, I actually study with Jim himself, especially the Mola technique. So this is a great book for that. My second endeavor on pursuing jazz coordination was listening to Jack DeJohnette and studying his book that he wrote with Charlie Perry, The Art of Modern Jazz Drummer. This is an old cover. I think the new cover now is black. But this is a great jazz coordination book dealing with triplets. Then later I found this nice book, Mel Bay's Studio Jazz Drum Cookbook, written by my friend John Pickering, and this is really nice for students who are not ready yet for the Jim Shaping or the Jack DeJohnette book. This is a great book. I still enjoy playing these, have several copies of it in different locations that I work. The Mel Bay Studio Jazz Drum Cookbook is amazing, and it's a good start because you start from quarter notes, 8 notes, triplets, add the bass drum, the hi-hat, so it's progressively harder to work on, but I highly recommend that. And of course, there is other types of coordination like pop rock coordination, which the best book for that in my opinion is The New Breed by Gary Chester that I went through. Took a few years to do this whole thing, but this is highly recommended by drummers such as Dave Wacko and Danny Gottlieb. This is amazing coordination book for more like straight 8 type of playing. And of course, the difference between this book and all the other books is involved the fifth limb, the singing part. And then later on my studies with the great legendary Alan Dawson, we work out of the syncopation book, and also with the great John Ramsey. Now, this Alan Dawson system is the one that I prefer because it's very musical, it's complete, and he was really a genius teacher. But a lot of my students are not ready for that because with the Alan Dawson system, again, that's the one I prefer to teach and study, involves interpretation and also involves sight reading, which is amazing. So as a professor at the Berklee College of Music, and I also teach at my school, the Drum Set Coach Academy. I also teach at the drumsetcoach.com internationally, and also I'm involved at the Players School of Music in Florida online. So I teach a lot, and I'm learning from that students learn differently. So what I'm about to share with this little series is the 11 triplet permutations, and inspired by all those books and inspired by all my teachers, what we're going to do is use a very simple text with the 11 triplet permutations, and we're going to do that 8 ways, and each way is going to be a small part of a bigger exercise that I'm calling the Jazz Coordination Ritual, which is inspired by my teacher Alan Dawson when he wrote the famous The Rudimental Ritual, which is basically, when I started with Alan Dawson, he taught me the 26 American rudiments, the Swiss rudiments, innovation chart builders, and then you put them all together, and if I count the variations, about 120 rudiments that I can play with a routine, which is the ritual, in about 15 minutes. So we're going to do the Jazz Coordination Ritual. So this is going to be an exercise that's going to, after you learn it, is going to take about 10 to 12 minutes for you to play this entire thing, and it's going to involve coordination with the left hand, bass drum, hi-hat, and then it gets a little more involved. So here's part 1 of that, very simple, and I'm going to use the 11 triple permutations playing the ride cymbal, the hi-hat, and the bass drum, and we're just gonna move that left hand a little bit. And then on the end of that clip, there is a more advanced left hand exercise where we're gonna accent the first triplet, the second triplet, the third triplet, accent every fourth triplet, and accent every two triplets. So that's a little dessert, a little extra for advanced players. But enjoy the series, and we're gonna do this 11 triplet permutations. We're gonna have several exercises, and I'm gonna put it together into the jazz coordination ritual. I hope you enjoy it, and I certainly got a lot out of this. And if you master this exercise, you'll be able to read any of those books. So enjoy it.